16 things all parents used to say in the past.
I'll give you something to cry about.
This threat usually came after a parent had already upset their child. Somehow, they thought promising more misery would stop the tears. Spoiler alert, it rarely worked.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
It was the classic response to any request for new toys or treats. Parents loved reminding kids that cash was a finite resource.
Back in my day,
It was the start of every lecture about how easy kids had it. It usually involved tales of walking to school uphill. Both ways were uphill somehow. In the snow, of course.
don't make that face, or it'll freeze that way.
It was a creative attempt to stop kids from pulling ugly expressions. Some children actually believed this facial paralysis myth. Parents got quite inventive with their threats back then. It seemed to work, at least temporarily.
I'll wash your mouth out with soap.
It was the go-to threat for stopping potty mouths. Some kids learned the hard way that soap tastes awful.
I'm not asking, I'm telling.
It was the phrase that shut down any argument. Kids knew resistance was futile at this point.
What am I, chopped liver?
It was parents' way of guilt-tripping kids into showing affection, as if comparing themselves to a divisive food would work. It rarely had the desired effect.
Wait until your father gets home.
Moms wielded this phrase like a secret weapon. The kids knew they were in big trouble. The anticipation was often worse than the actual punishment.
Don't call unless someone's dead, or the house is on fire.
Parents expected kids to handle their own problems.
Eat your crusts, it'll make your hair curly.
It was an odd tactic to get kids to finish their bread. Why parents thought curly hair was such a desirable trait remains a mystery. Kids wondered about the logic.
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
It was a classic line, delivered during punishments. Kids never believed it, of course. Parents thought this would make spankings more palatable.
You can go to bed without dinner.
It was a harsh punishment that would probably be considered neglect today. Some kids spent hours alone in their rooms. They missed meals as a punishment.
You're cruising for a bruising.
It was a warning that physical punishment might be coming. Belts and wooden spoons were common threats. This phrase signaled that kids were on thin ice.
One strike and you're out.
It was a zero-tolerance policy for back talk. Kids didn't get multiple chances to behave. Parents were quick to reprimand. There was no 3 strikes rule in many households.
Put some beer in her bottle, it'll help her sleep.
It was shocking advice that some grandparents actually followed. Alcohol was sometimes given to toddlers. It was used as a sleep aid or medicine. This practice is unthinkable now.
Let him get hurt. It'll teach him not to do that again.
It was a hands-off approach to child safety. Parents believed in learning through experience. Scrapes and bruises were seen as life lessons.